Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. I'm going to do a head shave now. I've got my Morrison Forndran Blonde Badger soaking again. I finished my face shave about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. It's dried off a little bit, I've just re-soaked it, put it back in the cup. I use a sort of little half pint tumbler sort of thing. So I've got that just filled up just below the handle in the water. And I'm going to use another soap once again that I've just used recently, one which I'm still I keep going back to smell it, but I still can't get my head around the scent. Petit Grain Violet and Amber Barrister and Man Cologne Rousse, and this one, from what I hear, is quite popular with Barrister and Man people, and I do like it. I just can't figure it out. I can't get my head around the scent. It's really complex, and I've got no idea. I can smell the amber, and that's about it. It stops there with me. The rest of it is just a stramash of scents. I've got no idea what they are. Okay, so it's been soaking now for sort of 5 minutes or so. Part of my problem with natural hair brushes was the soaking. I don't think I ever soaked them long enough. Sometimes I think I soaked them too much. I shall be back shortly. Okay, and we're back. I just jumped away from the camera for a bit there. Sorted the wife's TV out, sorted some water bottles and stuff out for the wife, and now maybe onto the shave with this. Now I've left the lid off on this. The whole bathroom stinks a bit. Doesn't stink, smells good. Yeah, it's just an odd scented soap. Right, this has been soaking now for about 20 minutes I think, so hopefully the knot doesn't just fall out when I lift it out. Let's see how we go. So absolutely loaded full of water at the moment. Just push it on the side that you see. The water just drops out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a good squeeze. The water's still, it's not warm, but it's not cold. Like, I don't know, lukewarm. What am I showing you that for now? It's really thrown me this. Right, I'm going to load straight off the soap. Load up the brush, and then I'm going to go straight into my bowl. Do a bowl lather and see where we go from there. Yeah, it is a nice scent, I've got to say. It's just an odd scent, a scent I can't describe. So we'll see how this little brush performs with a bowl lather, which is my sort of preferred form of lathering for my head shaves. I find I get more control over the amount of lather I've got. And more so when you're using I'm just going to dip the tips a bit, more so when you're using a natural fibre brush. It gives you a bit more control over your lather in terms of how much you get and how much you've got for your full pass. So as you can see, I think that should be absolutely loads. Now, the thing I love about this glissant, which is the formulation of this Barrister Man soap, is that it's quite a firm soap. You can really dig in deep with it and get right into the soap without taking an inch off the top. Bonificio Varacino shaving grail bowl. Beautiful bowl, beautiful handle. Get a real good grip on it. Now the only problem with this is, you can probably see here, look at the size of this knot. All over the place here. There's the bowl and there's the size of the knot. So as you can see, it takes up a hell of a lot of room in there. So I'm not going to add water yet, I was going to dip the tips here. I'm going to go straight into the bowl, the knot, because the knot on natural hair brushes holds a lot more water than a synthetic does. So let's just see what we get. The knot's so big on this actually that it's, you can't even get the brush handle doesn't even go near the side. And you can see there's a lot of backbone in this brush. I've not been working this long, and already you can see it's starting to make a beautiful lather. I've just dipped the tips a little bit there, get a bit of moisture into it, see how we go. I do remember getting some excellent lathers out of my Badger brushes that I used to own, using the bowl as opposed to face lathering. And I can tell you right now that this is whipping up a pretty amazing lather. I'll just show you, it's not finished yet obviously, but it's getting there. Let's just dip the tips again. Yeah, it's a really nice brush actually for bowl lathering. As you can see, it's really starting. Look at the gloss on that. Just dip the tips again. The good thing with Barrister and Man is, for you guys out there that have used it, if you haven't used it, it can take a lot of water, a lot, before it even starts breaking down at all. Now, if I'm honest, this is actually whipping up one of the best bowl lathers that I've done in quite some time. I know I'm spending a little bit longer with it, but generally it's because it's the natural hair, but that's really coming up incredible. God, I can't even flick it off. I think that's me pretty much where I want to be. Don't want to add any too much water, but you can see there, that's beautiful. There's another stray here from the, I mean this knot is so tightly packed that you're not going to lose, you'd need to really lose hundreds and hundreds of hairs to even affect the performance of it, in my opinion. But that is superb. Okay. Just wipe my face. This is a head shave, Chris, come on, get your act together. I've got 4 days growth, I think, something like that. 4 days growth. I've got my, what have I got today? I've got Governor's Estate, mint green tea, and it's lovely. Right, head's wet, here we go. This is what I was sort of afraid of. Can you see that? Which is why a bowl lather for a natural hairbrush for me, when you're covering this much real estate, is the only way to go. I'm going to dip the tips. And of course, you don't want it to be too wet, which this is very wet at the moment. Now, my lather technique with a natural hairbrush is not up to scratch. I can put my hands up to that, no problem. So there's a technique and a learning curve. It comes with a natural hairbrush. Now it's certainly pulled itself back a bit, but it's still not superb. I mean, that's glossy, but it's thin. So let's just see how it shaves. Using the Gem Micromatic bullet point, and I've got an H and a 1 dot, so it's had 1 head shave. And I've got 4 days growth. I'm going to try what Kyle over at Brown Man shaves, then go straight against the grain and just see how it feels. and that feels incredible. Now the lather is actually doing a little better than I thought it would. I thought it would be struggling. Getting lather everywhere. Now that was really comfortable. You know, it's pulling the hair off. I think I'll have a little sip of tea. Just because I can. Yeah, that was really smooth. The residual slickness is absolutely incredible. Now, here comes the test for the brush. Now you can see there's loads in that. I'll guarantee when I put it on my head, there's none on my head, or hardly any. It might prove me wrong, but you can see there, look. This is what sort of gets me with these natural hair brushes. Even to go back into a lather like that, there's nothing there, it's doing absolutely nothing. So this is when having your bowl prepared. People keep saying to me, you watch Christopher David Bailey, It's alright to go back to the puck, it's not a crime. That's right, it isn't. I shouldn't have to go back to the puck or back to the soap when I've just spent $30 on a soap and it'll last me half as long as it does with a synthetic, because I spend more time going back to the soap than I do actually lathering. Now I know this soap will perform even. That was absolutely covered in water there. Just shake it off. Great waterproof labels. Right, where have I hidden my razor? Okay, I'm just going to go sort of against the grain again everywhere I've already been. I've got to say, it does feel like I have to put pressure on with this razor because it's so mild. It's not mild, it's efficient, but it feels mild. Right, do you know what, I'm just going to wet my head. I know the slickness is there, but I'm just going to reapply this brush again, just to see what it's like. This is really just an outlook on the brush. And it really is, I've got to say, it's a $300 brush, but it's really opening my eyes to synthetics even more. It does not matter if you own a $300 brush. You can get a better lather, in my opinion, a better lather from a $10 ship to your door brush from Milton over at Aftershave for $10 to your door. This is $300, this brush, and it doesn't make as good a lather. That's my personal opinion, but I'll guarantee there's a lot of people out there with that opinion. There's just no way this brush makes a better lather. You can argue with me all day long, and I know it's personal preference, and this brush feels incredible on the skin. It really does feel phenomenal. It feels as good as any of the synthetics, I have to sadly say. It really does. It feels amazing on my skin. It's got a lovely scrub, but there's no scritch or scratch. It feels as good as any quality synthetic that I've got in the den. But I can get almost 3 Wolf Whiskers brushes for the price of this. So it's just something to bear in mind. They look beautiful, they do perform well, but you'll use a lot more soap with them. You'll have a lot more frustration with them, in my opinion. But then again, don't quote me on that yet, that's just my opinion of it right now. I'm going to use this brush every day for maybe a week or two, or every shave for a week or two. I know it will get a bit boring, similar to my Aftershave, to my gem blade, but that's almost done now. As you can see, it's just doing nothing. Now that was from a pretty heavy load. a bowl lather, which was absolutely chockers full of lather, to pretty much nothing on my head. Now, I'm on my third pass now. I do not need a thick, voluptuous lather on this pass. All I need is just enough. I don't even need a lather really. With Barrister Man, a bit of water does it really, just with residual slickness, but I'm just doing this to people keep telling me I'll be going through this journey of shaving and I'll keep coming across things that are better than the last thing and better than the last thing. These razors, the Gem Styles, for me, are the best shaving razor that I've ever used, ever. Better than anything, better than the Mergress, the Timeless, the Wunderbar, everything. It's even better on my head. And I know Kyle over at Brown Man Shaves feels the same. Olivier Chapeau in New York, he feels the exact same. They give a far, for me, a far superior shave to anything I've ever used. And it truly is, generally, 9 times out of 10, or a probably better one would be 99.9% out of 100. Gives me an outstanding shave with no irritation. Now, the other thing I found as well that I've been told and I've been reading about, this knot is a 28mm knot, so it is chunky, a really chunky knot. It's the biggest knot I've used. The biggest knot prior to that was a 26mm Magard, or the Razor Rock Monster, I think it was. So in terms of the diameter of the knot, that's going to play. That's going to play into the how much lather it holds, how much it eats. Being a natural hairbrush, it will eat lather, it will make it disappear. I suppose big is beautiful, but big isn't always better. I suppose you can look at it that way. So this is basically my pick-up pass or my touch-up pass, whatever you call it. Now, I don't want to jinx it, but this is probably the first razor I've used where I have no fear at all with it. Don't know how it's built or how it does it, but I never feel like I'm going to cut myself with it. And it just chews through the hair with ease. So just to dip the fingers in water, just catch some of this little bits of excess lather that's floating about, and you've got pretty much another protective. Another thing this highlights for me as well, for anyone that's like myself struggling for money at the moment, which sounds daft with the stuff that I've got in my den and stuff that just came in, but all the stuff that's just come in has come as by way of selling stuff off. I see, I've got a little bit here that's still on there. So, brush still looks like it's got loads of lather in it. In fact, that, to be honest with you, is actually pretty good. For a natural brush, that's actually pretty good. I was expecting that just to go on clear and do absolutely nothing. Just add a bit of water in there because it's a bit dry. And that is BBS. Took me a bit longer than I thought. A lot longer than I thought, if I'm honest. Part of that has to fall in the brush. The brush just does not create lather like a synthetic. It takes a lot longer to get working. I mean, that feels incredible, there's no hair at all anyway. But having to really work hard to get it with a brush. Humphreys citrus, orange, lemon and lime. I do like the scent on this one, it's lovely. Right, so the soap for the head shave was Barrister Man Cologne Rousse, the Glissant formula. This is his latest labelling, which looks incredible for me. It's got a beautiful shimmer to it. It just looks great. The tubs are lovely and solid, there's nothing, everything about Barrister Man, the soaps, the tubs, the labels, just everything about it's quality, and I've really thought about it. The brush, I just want to show you this while it's still quite wet. Looks amazing. It all gels now. Just lost another hair. I don't know how many hairs this will lose as I go along. Natural hair brushes lose hairs all the time, so it's not something I'm super worried about. But as you can see, just gorgeous, and it's a massive knot. I'll just, once I've dried it and I've brushed it on here, This is my 25mm Black Wolf fan note, so it's a 25mm. Obviously the loft's quite a bit shorter on the Badger, but you can see the splay on it is enormous. Just absolutely huge. The bloom on the brush is phenomenal. Oh, it smells great now. It's definitely one of the best things in my opinion of a natural hair brush is that it absorbs the scent. You can pick a brush up in 5 years time that I've used it, never been used since, and you probably still smell the last soap that I used in it. Oh, it's lovely. Club Cola mixed with Cologne Rousse. It's really nice. Yeah, beautiful. It's a gorgeous brush, there's no doubt about it. It really is lovely. It's got heaps of backbone, lovely scrub. It does everything you want in a brush, it just doesn't do it as well as a synthetic. And like I say, I just got to highlight the fact this is a $300 brush. The most expensive synthetic I've got is $110 something Australian. This one's over $300 Australian, so it really puts into perspective what you get for your money. You get a nice looking brush, no doubt about it, but I don't think it looks as nice as a synthetic, and it certainly doesn't perform as well as a synthetic so far. But my technique will improve, it will get better as I get better. But that's enough about the brush. Let's talk about the gem. This is the second head shave on this blade. I'm going to keep using this until it feels like it's similar to my face shave one. But I've got BBS there, with no irritation, no cuts, no nothing. Smooth as you like. No juttering, skipping, juddering, nothing, none of that crap. Just cuts through the hair smoothly, cleanly and nicely without any issues at all. It is just superb. Twist to open. One dot. So it's the second head shave on this blade, so once again, these are, if you haven't tried one, you need to. You'll kick yourself in the arse if you don't try this for 5 years and then you try and go, oh fuck, I wish I'd tried it when Chris said 5 years ago. Really, if you can get a hold of a really cheap gem and get some Ted Pella blades or some good quality Persona blades from Connaught Shaving, they're not expensive, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. There's very few people I think that would not go on with these razors. Very few. And then with the bowl, which did a tremendous job with the natural hair brush, is the Saponificio Varicino. Oh, it does smell nice, this soap. It's getting better and better the more I smell it, it really is. Moved on to Humphreys Citrus. Beautiful stuff, really is. It's one of my favourite Humphreys scents, I've got to say. It's probably the most rounded and strongest scent out of all of them. And I'm now going to finish off with some Lucky Tiger to keep the citrus theme going. I find Cologne Rousse to be a slightly citrusy sort of scent. Does it actually say citrus on it? No, it doesn't even have citrus on the label, but I find it citrusy. Now this stuff, Lucky Tiger, has really surprised me. I thought it would be pretty average, but it's not. It really moisturises your skin. And personally, I think it smells great. It's got a very light citrus scent to it. Doesn't linger at all. It's only there for a minute or two and then it's pretty much gone. But really nice. Time for a cup of tea. Lovely jubbly. And that is me done and dusty, guys. That was basically a look at the Morrison Forndran for a head shave. It did alright. Not a patch on my synthetics at the moment. But I am going to use this exclusively for the next week or two, just to see how it sort of goes over the next little while. But I'm not putting my hopes in it being superb, but it's enjoyable and it is nice to have that kind of brush to use every now and then in between using a better brush or a synthetic, in my opinion. But anyway guys, I have rambled to death in this video. I've had my quiet points and I've had my points where I haven't shut up, so I'm going to leave it at that. Morrison Forndran, it's a good brush, it's not a great brush so far. Thanks very much. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll catch you guys next time. Cheers.